Chapter 3 of Sunny Days at Sunny Doon, Book 1, Number 17, Scary Monsters and Super Creeps. Lazing on the steps of a decaying building in the industrial district, a pair of women sat. One was a dark-skinned girl with white hair and a short but feathered hairstyle. She wore a white stretch shirt, brown leather jacket, and grayish tan jeans that were braided at bottom, matching well-worn yellow sneakers. Contrast, the girl next to her was a blonde, wearing an aqua trash suit that seemed to gleam in the light. Considering the contrast, it's hard to believe the two were friends. They were close friends, and in fact, thick as thieves, with an emphasis on the thieves part. Pulling the last cigarette from the pack, Gilda lit it and took a drag. As he did, her friend rolled her eyes. You know, I'm not sure what's gonna kill you faster. Shoplifting those things or chain smoking them. Shut the hell up, Dust, Gilda growled. And aren't you supposed to be at track practice today? Lightning just laughed. Yeah, what? They're gonna kick me off the team for blowing out practice again? Spitfire, Fleetfoot, and the others ain't none of them faster than me, and they know it. It's why they're all jealous that they can barely run, but I can fly. Just watch. Tryouts for Olympic quals are next year, and Watson will make the cut. I can guarantee you it ain't gonna be Spitfire. Yeah, whatever, Lightning. Gilda heard more than enough of her friends bragging. When it came to ego, the only one who probably topped her was the sophomore, Rainbow Dash. So, what's the plan today? I don't know, got nothing. What about you? Garble's got breakfast club today, so wait till he's up before we can do anything. After that, well, I could get creative. Hope you got a thin layer of latex covering that creativity, Lightning chided. Leaning back, she said, if this is why I don't date guys. All it takes is the wrong fun, and a epic flame is ruined because of a baby bump. No, thank you. I'll just stick to who I'm doing. Speaking of which, how that worked out. You were telling me about a pair of twins? Oh, yeah. Lightning's face lit up on a wolfish grin. Mel at the Rancid tracking it last month, all the way out in Ponyville. Flitter a cloud chaser. Sleek, fast, the way I like 'em. Well, my run got 'em all creamy in their panties when they told me so. I bet them that if I set a new record for the 400-meter dash, I could have them both. And not, I had to entertain the guy they're choosing. And set a new record by a full second, of course. And when they were over at my house last week, Dusty smiled wide. They got Brazilians, just for me. Oh, and Flitter moans like no tomorrow. A cloud chaser's technique? I all had to wonder where she picked that up. Gilda shook her head. Guess it's true. Everything's better when sisters are together, huh? Oh, you betcha. Got another date set out next weekend. Guess I'll have to read up on the Kama Sutra. Just suddenly trailed off as he watched the person get out the bus at the next street. Hey, Gilda, is that who I think it is? Fuck yeah, you're right. What the fuck is that bitch doing here? Gilda wondered, her eyes narrowing. Either way, I owe that cut for all the shit she gave me. But she's the reason Garland's doing Breakfast Club. Well, that's between you and me. She's stupid enough to come here, so let's introduce her to the wide world of pain, shall we? Lightning suggested. Don't have to tell me twice, Gilda said, reaching for a rusted-off piece of pipe that was previously a stair handle. I shouldn't be here, Sister thought to herself as she got off the bus. For one, the bus only ran through the industrial district on the way to the freeway, and the stops in the suburbs to the south. Since it was a weekend and the line ran every 2 hours, so it was going to be a wait. Shiny was on patrol today, so if Forrest came too, so he could probably call him for a ride. Well, he'd probably want to know why she was here as well. He'd probably tell Velvet at night, and she'd probably get grounded. Part of her wasn't even sure why she was here either, but she had to come. There really was no other way to explain it. Walking the block towards the lot held the rattle trap buildings he called home for the past 4 years. She knew there'd be nothing there. By now, all the possessions he had in that building were probably at the bottom of a trash pile at the county landfill, just outside the Everfree National Forest. But still, she had to come. To her surprise, work had been done fast. They either were truly concerned about squatters or wanted the distro center up quickly, and thus the main support structures had already been laid, giving the general shape of the facility. and took up both her old life as well as the three others. Despite the construction trucks and the building materials, there was a clean, antiseptic feel to the whole place, as if it pushed away the rotting buildings and detritus of the past, determined to throw it all the way down the memory hole. And if all that had come before here and it was now gone, what did that say about her old life here? As she ignored the no trespassing sign and walked onto the grounds, she could almost picture how things had been those scant weeks before, living on a diet of canned food, sleeping on a dingy mattress, and taking cold showers on a regular basis. She'd been lucky that the magic within her must have prevented her from becoming sick, or worse through all those years. But the magic had protected her from the loneliness, or the barrenness, or in the end what she became. Is this what you really meant for me, Celestia? Sunset spoke aloud, speaking to the sky, and to the alicorn somewhere in a realm beyond it. Is this my real punishment? For me to start to find some little bit of happiness here before you yank me back to Equestria to do whatever you're going to do? After I've truly started to just being here? Is that my punishment? Sunset wondered if her former mentor was really that cruel. But then again, this was the ageless mentor who had beaten unspeakable monsters and countless threats to all ponydom. Princess Celestia was more than capable of utter ruthlessness, regardless of her normally kind and caring demeanor. When she went back to steal Twilight's crown, had it really been what Sunset thought was a chance? Or a carefully laid trap to assure the Sun Alicorn would know where she was? Were the younger Alicorn princess's words to her a suggestion to improve her life? Or a warning that someday divine punishment would come on brutal ivory hooves? That day would come, eventually, she knew. It could be any second now, or tomorrow, or maybe 10 years from now, when she likely had so much more to lose. Maybe a husband, children, assuming she could have any, and life. Ironically, she knew stuff that had not been remotely on her mind when she first arrived here. Please, princess, if there's any mercy in you, just leave me here in the dungeon and throw away a key. There's a human saying about it being better to rule in hell than serve in heaven. I don't even want to rule anymore. I just want to live my life. Of course, she hadn't expected an answer. Then again, she hadn't expected to have a sudden, violent blow at the back of her head. The hit crumpled her to the floor, followed by a kick to her barrel. By the time she mentally corrected herself to ribs, the pain had already started, and she was being hit in a few more places and heard a female laugh. She tried to force herself to her feet, only to feel a fist slam across her face, as an all too familiar voice was laughing at her from behind her above. You liking this now, huh? Ain't nobody here to save you, Shimmer! Stumbling forward, she managed to scramble to her feet, only to take a punch to the stomach that knocked the wind out of her. As she gasped for air, she saw a black blur arc toward her, and while she moved instinctively to dodge it, she was too dazed to move accurately and found the mark, tearing a jag of flesh and drawing splash of blood from the side of her face. Her face had grayed out momentarily, but before she did, she thought she saw a stab! No! The next part was a detonation of silent blue light and the power of Sunset's survival instincts, suddenly triggered by the serious injury, threw off a wave of magic. Her two assailants, not prepared for the assault, were thrown away from Sunset. Gilda crouched behind a stand of eye-beams, while lightning was thrown towards the grass by his side. As for Gilda's knife, it spun in a third direction, sinking into the rubble, and Beatrice saw a dump truck stationed on site, ready to take industrial garbage from the conjuring landfill. As Sunset's eyesight came to, she had just the presence of mind to pull out her phone, hands becoming even number by the second. She was able to dial 911 before passing out. Look, I don't know who's saying it, but I promise if I find out, I'll put a stop to it. Yeah, of course, you betcha. Okay, Cloudy, talk to you later. Bye. As Rainbow disconnected the phone, she swore underneath her breath. Something wrong, Sugar Cube? Applejack asked. The pair was at the Sweet Apple supply stop, Caroline's only farm market and organic food store. Mainly because today Applejack's family got a new supply of the apple-flavored soda Rainbow was virtually addicted to. Yeah, just talking to some old friends that live out in Ponyville. Remember Cloud Chaser Flare? Yeah, I introduced us to him when we went with you to state regional championships back in March. Ah. Well, apparently someone in school, our school no less, had been spreading rumors that they're not only sleeping with somebody, they're having a three-way with that person. and each other. They found out because someone at a track team for Appaloosa High does proposition them. Applejack's eyes showed her sudden revulsion at her friend's words. That's disgusting! No shit, AJ. I've known them since I was a kid. They're two of the coolest people I know, and they don't deserve that shit. I swear, if I find out who it is, I'm gonna beat the fuck out! She was interrupted by the sound of a bike crash outside. The store's front was thrown open, and both turned. They saw Fluttershy standing there, gasping for breath. Fluttershy! What the fuck? What's up? Rainbow asked.
Easy.
She gasped, struggling for breath.
Need your help. Rainbow, you two. Got a big...
As the customers in the store were starting to look her way, Applejack's farmer simply took the distraught teen by the hand and led her towards the store back ahead, while Nagatas went to get Fluttershy's bike. Well, Applejack and Rainbow took the hit and followed. Finally, as they were in the stockroom, Applejack asked, "Ma'am, what's got you all flares?"
We gotta go get Rarity and Pinky, then go to the hospital.
At that both AJ and Rainbow knew something was up. Fluttershy's mother, Posey, was a doctor at the county general. That easily meant something bad. "Sure thing, Flutters," Applejack replied. As he had to drive to the store's delivery van on occasion, she was one of the only two in the group who had a driver's license. Rarity being the other due to her job working for the bridal boutique down the street. "Was everything okay?" Fluttershy's next words stopped both Applejack and Rainbow's hearts.
It's Sunset. She's been stabbed.
"No, officer," Sunset said. She lay on her hospital bed. "I didn't really get to see who did it." "What were you doing there?" Shining asked, standing there, both worried and angry. When the call came over the radio, he had an uneasy feeling. But when the other officer present had described the stabbing victim, he went into overdrive, having arrived at the county general even before the ambulance and on-scene officer. "Sonny, I understand you're a member of the family," the airfield officer said, a hasty look in his eyes. "But let me handle this, okay?" "Yeah, sorry, Whiplash," Shiny said, scratching his head in embarrassment. "Look, Shiny, I know it was dumb of me, but I had to go," she said, shivering slightly as her body recovered from the wound. "I had to see if—" "Sunset!" Twilight activity rushed into the room, followed sorted by Velvet. "Easy, Twilight. She's not dead," Shiny said. "Doctor said the knife missed her vitals, but they're going to keep her here overnight for observation."
Are you okay?
The purple-haired girl asked, worrying in her eyes.
She's worried about me? But
Sunset looked and saw the same level of concern within Octavia and Velvet's eyes as well. And obviously, Shiny had been concerned enough to head over here while he was still on duty.
Spike and your father are on the way here for Spike's Little League practice, Velvet told her son. So you need to go. We'll be here.
I don't think it's going to be a problem if I stay, he answered. Wet Blast, do you? Not at all, the other officer said. In fact, since you're family, she might just open to you more than a stranger. Just give me a copy of the report so I can file it. Just don't forget to keep it professional, or the sergeant will choose your ass out like he did with Cruiser last month. Yeah, I know. Sighing nodded as the other officer departed. With that, he looked at Sunset. You were saying? Sunset couldn't help but turn her head away from them. The looks of hurt and disappointment in their faces was more than she could bear.
The place was my home for 4 years, Shiny, she told him. I appreciate everything you have all done for me, really. But when I first arrived, in town I mean, that place was all I had, and I had to go back. Have you ever wanted to see where you came from? She asked. The look on Velvet's face was sympathetic. I know how you feel. After my mother passed away 3 years ago, we all spent an extra week in San Diego, where I'm originally from, so I could show the kids the cheese tour. So I can understand. Those years were probably the hardest you've ever faced, because you did it entirely alone. But you're not alone anymore, I said, giving Sunset a huge smile. When she got over to take one of the injured girl's hands in her own, she said, You're with us now, Sonny. We're always going to be here for you. A curious look came over Sunset's face. Sonny, she drawled. Yep, she chirped. Just gonna call you that for now. It suits you better. Sunset sounds too dour. Octavia nodded slightly. Just roll with it, Sonny. You stay in this family long enough, you get a vowel attached to the end of your name. It's how it works. She added with a grin. Girls, I know you're worried about her, but I need to finish the report, Shiny admonished them. Sorry, Shiny, both Twilight and Octavia said at once. Well, this is probably a bit too overwhelming for you, Velvet admitted. So we'll just wait outside until Shiny is done. Let's go! Sing! Pinky belted out as he rode into the already crowded room, carrying a huge cake adorned with the words, Get well soon, Sunset, or else we'll really feel sad if you don't. And since we're your friends and you don't want us to feel sad or cry, especially Fluttershy, since you know how sensitive she is, then you better go well soon so we can have a big Sunset get well soon with a party cafe. We were really... Pinky stopped. You know, I'm never going to figure out how she does any of the stuff she does, Rainbow said, shaking her head as they entered the room.
It's Pinky, Rainbow,
Fluttershy said softly.
She just has a way with things.
Fluttershy was sent further to her friend, seeing that both of them stopped, enraptured at the same thing that caught her friend's attention.
Sunset, dear,
Rarity says he stole over a package under her arm. I know how simply horrible and drafty these hospital accounts can be, so I stopped by the hospital supply store and got you one of those colorful Nessus smocks that they wear. I hope that you... Rarity suddenly paused as he also caught what the others were looking at. Rears, you like a better window than a door, so you do, you Matt! Obstacle was caught now by her friend staring at. Indeed, all five were completely enraptured by the image that was before them. As the quintet stared at Twilight, she suddenly felt very self-conscious.
Is there something on my face?
She asked, blushing. Told you'll sort of skip the extra barbecue sauce, Octavia said from behind her. Suddenly, Pinky started vibrating as a white smile came out of her. It would have been impeccable to anyone else, but those who knew her well enough, knew something was about to happen, but needed to be stopped immediately. The Sunset gave her friends a plea, Get out of here now! Look. See your side, please. Here, set their attention. Come on, Pikes! Applejack said, reaching out to grab the hyperactive teen, while Rarity carefully stepped in to remove the sizable cake from Pinky's hands before she went supernova.
Fluttershy, be up, dear, and help me with this beast of a cake, Rarity asked. I've had no idea how Pinky carried it, and it's rather heavy.
Here, let me help you with that, Rainbow offered as he stepped in to grab the other half of the 2-foot-tall cake. As the others made their way out of the room, Fluttershy was there with the others, a smile liquid before murmuring,
I will be outside.
Before they could even acknowledge her, Fluttershy rushed out of the room as fast as she could. Your friends? Velvet asked, a somewhat amused look on her face. Sunset face palm. I wonder if there's a way I could stay here in the hospital for the rest of my life, she moaned.
It's her!
Pinky cheered, vibrating with excitement fast enough to practically break the speed of sound on her own.
It's really her!
Elzak shook her head. No, Sugar Cube, it's not. No, it's not. Elzak said, patting Pinky on the shoulder. This is the one that belongs here. We don't know her.
That, of course, doesn't mean we can't get to know her, however.
Rarity said she and Rainbow hefted the huge cake out of the room, while the various medical staff stared at them all. Eventually, one of them got the hint and brought a gurney out so girls could put the sizable foodstuff on it.
Thank you, sir.
The teen fashionista told the nurse.
Would you mind seeing if you have any cutlery and plates? We have more than enough cake for everyone.
Probably more than enough for the whole hospital, Rainbow muttered.
Girls, what are you doing here?
The rest turned to see Fluttershy's mother, Posy, walking toward them. The woman looked so much like her daughter, almost like an older sister than anything else. And for a woman in her late 40s, she held her age very well.
Hi, Mom,
Fluttershy said as he stepped out of the hospital room.
They're, with me.
Altogether, Rarity-eyed mother and daughter was amazed how nearly identical the two looked. Save for Fluttershy's slightly larger bust and Posy's half an inch or so extra in height. They really could have passed for siblings. Posy shook her head.
Flutters, dear, I called you because I wanted you to know, but I wasn't expecting you to bring your friends.
Sunset will be out tomorrow. We're only keeping her overnight for observation and further testing, she said. As the 5 girls sighed in relief, Fluttershy gave her mother a very contrary look, of the baby kind.
Sorry, Mom.
Posy smiled in response. Sorry, puppy eyes aren't going to work on me. I already used them on your father twice. That's how I ended up with you and Angel. At that point, Velvet, Octavia, and Twilight walked out of the room as well. Posy offered a hand to the failing matron.
Miss Twilight Velvet, I presume? Hi, I'm Dr. Posy. I understand you're the legal guardian of Sunset Simmer.
That's correct. Is she going to be okay? At this point, the orderly returned with supplies, and Pinky immediately started cutting the cake. Handing the servings out. As Posey took one, she said, "Okay, since you're all here, I might as well tell you. The good news is that the stab wound didn't do any serious damage. She'll be fine, and thanks to the minor surgery, she'll only have a tiny scar there. Bad news, if you really could call it that, is that we have to keep her here overnight, because we have to do a second round of blood test results." "Why is that? I know she's had some issues in the past before she ended up with us, Doctor," Velvet said. Behind her, Octavia and Twilight shared worried looks. At the same time, the five friends did as well. While Velvet, Twilight, and Octavia were worried about Sunset's overall health, the five Carolina High teens were worried about something that is entirely different nature when it came to the injured girl. Quite literally an entirely different nature. "Is there something wrong with her overall health?" "Well, she's a bit malnourished, but as my daughter knows her," Posey said, motioning to the Sci-twi hot teen, "I was somewhat aware of her past. No, my concern is that she's got a very rare antigen in her blood, and we couldn't use any of the standard stocks that we have on site. Fortunately, we were lucky enough she didn't lose a lot of blood, and we're an FDA Phase 3 test site for hemopure synthetic blood, so we were able to administer some of that. But I will need you to sign some release forms, Miss Velvet." "A very rare antigen?" Twilight asked, her interest piqued. Posey nodded. "Yes. She's got what is technically known as A2B negative blood, which is found in only 2% of the national population. The antigen in question is usually found in unicellules, primarily equines, more specifically, and very rarely in primates, much less people." "You don't say!" Elzek drawled, though she said nothing further. "But we'll do some extra tests, and if we confirm her as A2B negative, we can contact the UCLA Medical Center down in Los Angeles. They're the regional control point for the National Emergency Blood Supply, and as I understand, they carry stocks of A2B negative." "Will she be okay?" Twilight asked once more. The other girls looked at her. The teen worried, as though she was about to lose something important in her life. "We have my colleague, Dr. Redheart, working on the test now. She's the best there is. Don't worry, Sunset will be fine, I promise." The resulting sighs in the hallway were enough to make passerby think the building was aflame. Tossing out the cakes, he said to him, "Now, I hate to run, but I still got to make my rounds. Fluttershy, I'm going to be home late tonight, and since your brother's staying at his friend's place for the birthday party, you just need to take care of yourself, okay? I can just grab a salad in the cafeteria." "Okay, Mom. See you later," Fluttershy said, giving her mother a peck on the cheek before Mosey headed off onto her rounds. "So, you mean Posey moseyed on off?"
Sure.
Sorry, Charmander. "Well, so you're all Sunset's friends?" Fly asked as she looked at the other girls present. They all were looking at her with a mixture of surprise and familiarity, as if they knew her for some reason. The only one that looked familiar to her was the girl with deep purple wave hairstyle. Well, that was more than the time she just happened to see her at the mall more than anything else. The rest were completely foreign to her. The blonde wearing the waist-length ponytail nodded. "I'm Applejack, and this is Rainbow Davis. Hey ya, Rarity. I'm absolute pleasure to make your acquaintances. Fluttershy,
Oh, hi.
and the hyperactive girl over there is Blanky."
Hi, Twilight.
Piggy said. "Maybe at Twilight, almost instantly delving her hug.
Sing. You like Twilight and Twilight, because the last Twilight we knew kind of liked it, but we weren't certain we came accidentally or not, because he went back to our own dimension and...
"Okay, pigs, you're overwhelming the girl," Rainbow said, pulling the curly haired teen off of Twilight. "Is she usually like this?" Twilight asked, half confused, half amused, and wondering if she should be offended.
No, usually she's too out there to be this freaky.
Rainbow replied, giving Pinky an irritated glare.
Well, I'm Twilight Sparkle, and this is my cousin Octavia Medley.
"Well, girls, I'm not sure the hospital is the best place to do this," Velvet said, knowing that Nightlight and Spike were coming out of the elevator, both looking concerned as well. "Let me update my husband on the situation quickly. In fact, while I'm doing that, why don't you all go out for coffee?"
I know where the hospital cafeteria is, if we all want to head there.
Blizzard offered.
Great idea, Flares,
Pinky suggested. Twilight to Velvet. "Mom, maybe we all must basically eat in the lobby," the teen recommended. "That's a great idea," Velvet stated. "We all head there and we'll join you as soon as we can." So, how do you guys know sunset? Twilight asked, taking a drink from her double chocolate raspberry mocha. Ronald looks at that, and both Twilight and her cousin, Applejack nodded. It seemed more like an interrogation than anything else. This Twilight definitely didn't seem as friendly as the alien princess they knew. Applejack stirred. Well, I met her when we moved here to Canada a couple of years ago from Heaven or Oklahoma. My family had a farm there, but things didn't do too well, so we moved here to take over my grandpa's old store. So Sunset and I met then, junior high. And truthfully, let's just say things are better now than they were back then.
Yeah, no shit, Rainbow continued. As for me, I've probably known her the longest. Met her back in 7th grade when I moved here for Cloudsdale. She was a bitch back then, and we've done a couple of mile-on-mile dances, but I like her the way she is now. But Shine and I met her last year during our freshman year. It didn't go well, and frankly, if you asked me back then, I wouldn't have wanted a single thing to do with her. Thankfully, I've been proven wrong. Yes, Pinky said. A second later, she said, she used to pick me on me a lot because I was so excitable, admittedly, but I never let it really get to me. But now that she's my friend, it's totally awesome! Then, what about you two? Rarity asked. Forgive me for inquiring, but you seem very concerned about her well-being, considering that neither of you are related to her. So I took another sip from her coffee, then looked at Rarity. See, well, I know this is going to sound funny, but I almost feel as though I have to be there for her. Yes, she's living with us now, and Tavi and I could probably ignore her without an issue, but from everything I've known about her for the past month, she was someone who's been hurt terribly. Someone who's been forced, in a sense, to live by herself all this time. And has nothing, really. From what it sounds like, she didn't even have you as friends until recently. The five girls looked at each other. That'll be truthful, Miss Twilight. Please, just call me Twilight, the girl said. If we're going to be friends, then Twilight's fine. I was a grin. Then Zay from White. Anyway, yeah. After the incident at homecoming, she came to her class the way we are now. Yeah, definitely, Rainbow said, popping herself into the conversation. That's Applejack's relief. Well, she didn't want to lie to Twilight and Octavia. She'd never been good at falsehoods, as if being honest was an elemental part of her life. Fortunately, or unfortunately, depending on the situation, Rainbow's thing was loyalty to her friends, and as such, no compunctions about lying. Yeah, earlier, she was a total sack of shit. But that night, after the building fair part and she got dumped on being the homecoming queen, she came to the five of us. Maybe it was because she picked on us more than anyone in the school. Maybe it's because she felt we'd be able to give her a second chance. But she promised us that she'd change her ways. In the past few weeks, she has been. And she knows that a lot of other students in the school won't give her a second chance. Hell, a few of them are probably even carrying a grudge. But she's really trying, and for that, she's got my friendship, no doubt. Mine too, Applejack agreed. I dare say that goes for all of us, ladies, Verity added, while Fluttershy nodded. Because if you keep an eye out for her at school, I will do the same thing at home, Octavia answered. Oh, and by the way, you can just call me Toffee. Sounds like we got a plan then, Rainbow said. Now, next thing. Gotta find out who the fuck did this to her. Turning to her fellow Carolina students, Natalie said, based on who we know who could have done, my guess is... Her face was crestfallen as she added, pretty much any student on campus said the five of us. Really? Please tell me you're kidding, Rainbow, Octavia said, somewhat surprised at Sunset's accomplishment. No, I'm not. Maybe there was a time you could have theoretically added us to that list too, Rainbow told the other girl. But it's different now. Whatever she's done in the past, Sunset's my friend now, and I'm not going to let whoever hurt her do it again. She found herself standing on the thinnest of planks, crossing a gigantic gorge that she could not see where she came from or where she was headed. If either direction actually existed. Below her, she saw nothing but a massive chasm, similar to either Ghastly Gorge back in Equestria or the Grand Canyon in Arizona. Above her, the sky was nothing more than a blank, bulbous collection of thunderheads, the kind that Pegasi steer clear at all costs, as they are out of control. In fact, she knew a tiny rivulet of bluish-white plasma raced through the clouds, darting here and there as a lightning precursor prepared to cut a sharp jag across the sky. You'll never escape, Sunset, a voice said behind her. Sunset turned to find Princess Twilight Sparkle standing there on the beam, wings and horn prominent and regalia shining like the first gleaming of the sun. You'll always run, because you aren't willing to change. But I am Twilight, Sunset shouted. You asked me to, and I'm doing so. It's just These things don't happen instantly. Rome wasn't built in a day, you know, or Camelot for that matter. But you are running out of time, Sunset. And instead of learning, all you're doing is just running away.
No, she's not.
A second voice broke again. Sunset turned towards the right as he was walking. Her face Twilight standing there, arms folded. She was wearing all black. It looked like something out of one of those ridiculous sci-fi films Rainbow always raved about.
And how would you know?
Twilight asked Twilight. Because I believe in her! The human shouted to the unicorn. And if you truly cared about her, so would you! She's trying to turn over a new leaf. Her friends have stood by her, and now her family will too!
She has no family.
She spurned the one she had when she attacked Equestria!
She has.
Me, Tommy, my brothers, my parents, and whoever else will come in her life. We'll help her make that life, Twilight sighed.
Then prove it!
Twilight Sparkle challenged Twilight Sparkle. You know, the psychological ramifications of this are amazing. Twilight responded to the challenge by reaching a hand out to Sunset, saying,
Let's go home, Sonny. But why? Why me? Because you aren't who you were. Before you were Sunset Simmer, a power-obsessed unicorn. Now you don't know who you are. But you know who you want to be, and we'll help you, Sonny.
We? In response, the distance lit up with 5 flares of power. Orange, red, blue, purple, and green. After a few seconds, Sunset could see the silhouettes of Applejack, Rainbow, Pinky, Rarity, and Fluttershy within them. She then noticed that Twilight was glowing magenta as well, the same color that the element of magic had been before it rejected her. She heard a noise behind her, and turning, Sunset was horrified to see the demon that she had been standing there, laughing at her.
Run away! Run as far as you can!
The creature laughed.
You'll never be able to escape the worst monster you'll ever know. Yourself!
The demon would have laughed more had not been slammed by sunblast or rainbow magic. Sunset winced sympathetically. She understood what it was like to be on the receiving end of a grating sort of Death Star type magic blast before, and it was not pretty. Suddenly, the plank beneath her snapped and she fell, only to be caught by hand by Twilight, standing there, pulling her up effortlessly as a feather.
Why?
Sunset found herself asking.
Twilight only smiled and said, Because.
Sunset opened her eyes in the relative darkness of the hospital room, lit only by the blue glow of the health monitor's LED screen and the desk lamp on the other side of the room. She felt completely exhausted. But she expected that as she was still recovering. The rest of her convalescence would be back in bed at home. Far better than having to stay another day in the dull, antiseptic environments of the hospital. Seeing the clock on the wall, it read stately at 11:06 in the evening. Sunset decided it was for the best to go back to sleep. She was about to close her eyes and felt her right hand brush against something looking down. She picked up a Smarty Pants doll. She recalled hearing somewhere that the doll had once been a competitor to better-known Raggedy Ann, but that toy maker and producer went out of business back in the 80s. The character had thus fallen into public domain. It was mostly forgotten about all but senior citizens and collectors. Holding its rag doll in a gray and orange polka-dotted dress, Sunset noticed that there was a note attached to it.
It's a Lucky Cat letter.
Sorry. Since I figured you don't care to be in the store, I thought I'd lend you my Smarty Pants doll. It's been in my family for a couple of generations, and supposedly sewn together by my great-grandmother, Dazzling Sparkle. I hear it's not much, but I really hope every little bit helps feel better. Twilight. Because you might want something more potent than a great-grandma's Smarty Pants doll, in the nightstand by the other side of the bed should be my old inlay headphones. Since I don't have much, I was only able to upload Discord's possibly second in live in Tokyo, Great High School's best of albums. Sorry, but at least you'll be home tomorrow. We'll be waiting for you. Tommy.
You know, we've been through many letters on this show, but that was the first time I've ever seen anybody use cursive on this.
Sunset grinned, ignoring the pain in her side. She reached over and grabbed the iPod, putting in the headphones, and she took Twilight's Smarty Pants doll under the arm, queued up the first track, and by the time Discord's smoky baritone started blazing out the lyrics to Love's Like an Insane Chimera, she had already dozed off, a smile on her face.
You promised to take me to singing practice after school, right?
Sleep Bell asked Rarity as the pair arrived on the grounds of school.
Yes, I promise,
Randy said. She had to run a bunch of errands after school today. She was borrowing her mother's car, and then when that happened, she made her agree to that as well. Randy sighed. At least it wasn't taking her to the weekly Girl Scouts meeting. Those usually involved her, Apple Bloom, and Scootaloo in their latest madcap adventure to see what bats the trio could collect. Usually the results varied from a royal mess to the results likely needed to be classified as a super fun cleanup site.
King, you promise.
Slee said in that wavering mezzo-soprano tone of hers.
Yes, I did, sweetie.
Verity groaned once again, rolling her eyes.
Now, get going. Okay, see you later.
And with that, it's a nearby separate building. They had House Caroline Junior High, and all that troublemaking 7th and 8th graders within its middle school grounds. She, along with Apple Bloom and Scootaloo, will be graduating this year. They joined their older sisters within the buildings at House Caroline High. But, Rarity figured, she still had the whole year to figure out how she was going to survive being in the same school with her sister again.
Hello, Rarity.
The fascination paused and saw Rarity with flashlight walking up, wearing a familiar butter yellow sweatshirt that was entirely too snug for her own good, and had a stenciled pair of wings on the back. She also wore too tight jeans and matching yellow comfort sneakers. Rarity sighed. As always, Fluttershy always expands to somehow look demonstrably good whatever she wore. Furthermore, she wasn't even aware of it.
Hello, Fluttershy, dear. You look tired.
I am, she admitted.
Apparently some of the kids at the birthday party were picking on Angel, so the birthday boy's mother dropped him off before he got into another fight.
Rarity sympathized with her friend. Angel had been born hearing and speech impaired, and while he was pacing with his sister and mother, the same paces rarely extended beyond them. From what she heard, Sunset's younger foster brother Spike could be somewhat of a brat, but surely he couldn't hold a candle to Angel's temperament.
Anyway, I had to order a pizza. He insisted on it. Then I had to get him ready for bed. That was before I realized I forgot to do my homework since we were all focused on Sunset. I was up till about 3 in that morning.
She groaned.
I know we were planning to take Sunset for homework and then go to the movies afterwards. But if you don't mind, I think I'll skip out on that.
Oh no, I can't insist on it. I maybe need some beauty sleep, and yours is such a delicate beauty that I wouldn't want you to. As they approached the front of the school, the pair noticed a bunch of students standing around a sizable crowd. Usually that meant something interesting, and that could go either way. As one of the students passed by, she stopped him.
Excuse me, do you know what this is about?
Yeah, he laughed. Pit's finally got her comeuppance. Glad to see it. Someone had the stones to knock Sunset Simmer a peg or two down from her almighty throne.
Sunset? But she's in the...
Randy began before Fluttershy shook her head to hint that he keep silent. That information likely wasn't public yet. Randy took the hint, and together they went out to see what the crowd was doing. As they arrived at the crowd's immediate perimeter, Rainbow and Applejack were already standing there. As they arrived, Rainbow immediately took the chiffon hair tea and said, "Color flares, you don't need to see this."
But I...
Trust me, you don't need to see this.
Her tone was insistent. Fluttershy followed Rainbow as the pair walked towards the other side of the school and entered there. "That's the bullet," Applejack said to Rarity.
I said good morning, but honestly it ain't. Peggy already went to get a teacher.
Why?
Trust me, Sugar Cube, you don't want to know. I know your mayor serves stuff to flares, but even you don't want to see this.
The look in the blind's eyes indicated that she hadn't necessarily wanted to see it either. "I insist, Rares. Some folks said it was about Sunset, and I think, as a friend, I should be quite concerned."
Yeah,
Applejack said on a soft note, as he pointed towards the pile of students. "You should be." As Rarity made her way towards the center of the pile, she noticed the other students in the geometry class. Bonbon brushed her way towards the grass before throwing up her breakfast. Bonbon's girlfriend, Lyra Heartstrings, was already there to help her. The look in Lyra's golden eyes was already of anger and disgust. Finally, Rarity reached the center of the pile and looked what the whole thing was. She had enough time to get out of there before she threw up as well.
and apparently the author made the above known stationery.